Hey, did you know you could have mini-me as a pet? At Mama's website, you can buy a plushie version of me, available right now. Go check it out.
And welcome back to my channel. I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, and now with my other projects on hold at the moment, I can make time to get this little special underway with my top 5 favorite fan-made animated videos on YouTube. But before I do, I want to lay out a few ground rules for this video. First off, this is my opinion, and it's only that. An opinion. These are the videos that I just happen to like, prefer, admire, or rewatch the most for not just animation, but also story and or music content as well. Secondly, I'll be basing my top 5 on why I either like the story, the artwork, and animation, the music, or any of the above. And thirdly, I will explain why I felt the need to put them in the top 5 on a personal and entertainment level. It's okay not to agree with my top pick if it's not your own. I'm just sharing with you all what my top 5 is. With that, let's get underway. Number 5. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Animation, A Little Incident by Brutal Weather. A little and cute animation that, while takes on the style of Hasbro's characters, gives off a sense of nostalgia for me personally. One that if you're not from the G1 Brony years, some of you newer fans might actually miss. But let me explain. This video tells the tale without the use of words, but more horse noises, about how Celestia loses her cool when she encounters a scary little spider and proceeds to blow up the former established castle. First, starting with the little details. We see a group of ponies walking away from the castle, assuming they just had a meeting with their princesses Celestia and Luna. I immediately take notice and joy in the fact that they are resembled reference to what I can only describe as Generation 1's original main 6. If you look closely and know the history, you can clearly make out some of the older pony characters from the 80s, such as my favorite pink and blue Pegasus, Firefly, the original Twilight, the original Applejack, the white Pegasus named Surprise, the purple unicorn named Sparkler, and last but certainly not least, the yellow earth pony named Posy. Not that they are the main focus of this video, but I love that it pays tribute in a small cameo to Generation 1. Moving on to the primary climax of the short is where Celestia loses her cool after spotting a spider in her room and proceeds to destroy the castle, trying to zap it with her magic. Taking into account that in Hasbro's My Little Pony Friendship is Magic series that Celestia is a powerful being, it's not odd to think that a possibility could happen if a unicorn or an alicorn was not fully in control of their emotions and powers. The idea that an animal with magical abilities can panic and proceed to destroy a building at the top of a hat is hilarious concept to me, to say the least. Best part about this is that there are many other animations similar made like this one on Brutal Weather's channel that I would also highly recommend for the cute animalistic sound effects and charm. Hence why this one holds a special place in my top 5 for its adorable comedic reactions, the horse noises, and of course, giving a gentle nod to my G1 roots. Definitely recommend. Number 4, Guardian by Kanashi Panda. So I'm gonna get into a habit of really gushing over traditional style of representation from the Gen 4 My Little Pony universe. If it's one thing I enjoy, it's the traditional hand style of 2D animation for not only the characters, but also the backgrounds. In this video, we are given an alternative inside look of what it might have been like during the invasion of Chrysalis and her army of changelings, cutting from one shot to the other of citizens battling it out against the attack. We then fall onto our main story arc of the invasion, focusing on a mare unicorn we the fans know as Amethyst Star and her small foal Dinky Doo running for their lives from a group of changelings. The amazing detail and consideration can be seen in very fluent motions from Star's gallop and tossing Dinky up in the air to avoid being grabbed, to the sudden skips and bounds in order to escape their attackers, only to be cornered in an alleyway with nowhere to go. There are even tidbit hints of what the changelings are going through during the invasion, such as one pulling out their comrade from a building seeming to be suffering from injuries. But the climax to this harrowing story is when our main hero flies into the picture that we all know of as, Muffins, or Bubbles, or Derpy? Please don't pressure me on what to call her, I just call her Derpy. The details of Derpy going through wing and hoof combat during the roll of credits gives off a thrill of action and suspense as we see her take on several changelings at once to protect her two friends. You can feel the stroke of every frame to create the scene of combat. The amount of detail and focus the animator put into to make it all come together in the logistic sense when Derpy uses her wings and body to punch as many changelings as she can is without a doubt one of the best fan-made animations I've seen. The creator clearly took time to analyze fighting styles and used them to express how Derpy would use her wings to give her speed and strength in her attacks, as well as express the feeling of impact in her blows as she takes on calculative maneuvers to outfly and outhit her enemies throughout each scene. The story itself is simple, since we all know of it, but to take the concept and give it a thrill of action and heroic feats like you would see in an action film, combined with careful calculations from the animator to convey each movement in the scene, is probably one of the best I've seen in the fandom. It's both entertaining for me as a regular viewer who enjoys action and suspense, but it's also eye candy to me as an animator and a lover of 2D animation. I would certainly give this a watch over and over again, if not just for the story, but for taking inspiration from the amount of detail that went into the animation itself. Number 3. The Moon Will Rise by Duo Cartoonist, re-uploaded.
Disclaimer, the original video was created by Duo Cartoonist. Sadly, due to new YouTube policies, their channel is no longer available. So if you are interested in seeing the video, check out the link for it and be sure to read the description on how you can support them and their content. Thank you, and now back to the show.
The Moon Will Rise is probably my most favorite original style of the Pone universe I've seen. With their smooth line work, almost Disney-like quality, and a healthy combination of both CGI backgrounds and effects combined with traditional looking style of animation, it expresses more emotions to me not just on a level of design, but also through the characters and how they reflect their emotions throughout the video in body positions and facial expressions. In fact, the style of artwork and animation has encouraged me to improve on my own style as it's helped me to gain a better understanding on how face expressions work in cartoon concepts. I can literally see this video appearing in a Disney cartoon movie back from the early 2000s. Though Duo Cartoonist has made many other storyboards and animatics in the past, sadly they have moved on into their own careers, which I respect and can only appreciate this video even more. But enough of me gushing over the style of the video, let's get to the plot. Through the voice talents of Ellie Monty, we are given a story of Luna's descent into becoming Nightmare Moon through singing of her frustrations of how she feels ignored by her subjects and cast out into the shadow of her older sister Celestia. Outraged and feeling ignored, she decides to raise the moon and take a stand, even if it's against her own sister. All the while, we the audience are observing this, it is also displayed that one individual is cautiously observing her frustrations, that being Star Swirl the Bearded. It's an interesting take on how we the fans know what happened to Luna and how she feels alone and ignored, but to have a story portrayed that she was in fact not alone and that Star Swirl was concerned for what she was doing kinda switches things up a bit on the idea that maybe Luna was wrong in her observations of not being appreciated. Though in the end, she still makes the decision to take over the throne, forcing Star Swirl to flee, leaving us with the assumption he has gone to inform Princess Celestia of her actions. Within the Brony fandom, it is no secret that Luna is a favorite among the princesses. I'm gonna say right now, I still prefer Celestia. Yes, come at me, Luna fanboys. But don't get me wrong, I can see why she is a favorite, especially with how this video portrays her. She is a princess who, like her sister, works very hard to protect and serve her subjects, but she is never acknowledged or supported simply because of the circumstances. I certainly don't like the idea of working hard for those I care about because it's the right thing to do, but for those I do it for, never make an effort to acknowledge this. How would one feel if you did all this work for those you truly care about, but they never once convey their appreciation or support for you? After years of this ongoing ignorance to her being there, it's very understandable that feelings of remorse would grow. Of course, I am embellishing on this based off what the actual My Little Pony series shows and displays, and what this fan-made video displays. Luna was not as acknowledged as much as her sister, and she grew frustrated. It's very relatable, and I feel this video definitely achieved excellent execution expressing all this, thereby giving me some understanding of why others love Luna's character as well. Big shout out to Ellie Monty, girl's got some pipes! Number 2, Lullaby for a Princess by Warpout. Now, this was not an easy decision to make, since this video easily was a number 1 spot because it conveys strong emotions within me, which I'll likely tap to again in my number 1 pick. But Lullaby for a Princess conveys the story of Princess Celestia's turmoil as she sings a lullaby to her one and only family member, Princess Luna, who was banished to the moon after they battled against each other. The story is executed through musical talents performed and created by Pone and the artistic and animated talents of Warpout and his associates Simbaro and C Maggot, through original style and traditional looking animated design. The video is not using Hasbro's style at all, but rather takes on a more pastel soft color scheme with no lines to distinguish the backgrounds, using computer visual effects to convey magical properties as well as more hand-drawn traditional frame-by-frame animation, giving it its own personality that conveys a more serious tone rather than childlike atmosphere of the show. Make no mistake, this video is meant to target young adults to understand a topic about a terrible past event that occurred between two siblings that inevitably resulted in the banishment of one, and the other left to fend and rule her kingdom by herself for over 1,000 years. This was a very popular topic for most bronies in the fandom, as it helps to relate how expectations of others can lead to absent-mindedness of our current relationships, and thereby can be hurtful to not just those you care about, but even to themselves. I rewatched this video in particular as it helps me to reflect on those I have lost in my life, such as my father and even some of my past friendships. It begs me to ask the question of what if I could have done better? Or could I have been there for those I cared about that are no longer with me? So that I may put those thoughts into actions for friendships I have today. Frankly, this is one of the reasons why I relate to Celestia the most. I've had experiences when making decisions with those I care about and having to let them go for not just my own well-being, but for others as well, because their actions or decisions were harmful. It's situations like these I pray many won't have to make in the future, but it's something I could definitely relate more to than The Moon Will Rise with Princess Luna. However, I will say this isn't my most favorite style of animation, as I tend to rank it at second. Not that he gets the style in particular, but due to my overly observant animator eye, I tend to spot flaws in this video more than I do for The Moon Will Rise, such as Celestia's hair not moving properly in some scenes, or some special effects tend to take up more of the scene than I feel comfortable with. Of course, this is a personal opinion on the design, so take that with a grain of salt. Overall, this video conveys emotions within me to learn to respect my feelings, but also to voice them up and learn to respect the feelings of others as well. And I thank Warpout for this amazing and original execution of this topic through two princesses we all enjoy from the MLP show. And my number 1 pick for the best fan-made My Little Pony video goes to Shine Animation by Gray Ski. Of all the original content I've seen over the years from the My Little Pony community, this one always keeps me coming back for more. Not just because it was one of the first original fan styles of animation videos I've seen, but because it moves me in story, voice acting, and most of all, holding on to friendship tightly, no matter what the distance. Starting off on a somber musical note, we witness a fuzzy dragon fly through the night sky, seeming rather depressed or droopy as he makes his way to an unknown location. We then cut to a small pony in a village looking for her friend Kraze, only to be informed by a fellow pony that he had flown elsewhere. Through careful introduction of each character, we can start to get a feeling for the pony Sapphire needing to find her friend in the dark and open world. We're not sure why her friend left, nor told her why, but it's clearly important to her that she finds him as she begins her long search in the sky. Just when things seem hopeless, that she'll never find him, she digs deep into her mind and body before taking off again into the sky, building up momentum as she goes. By the sheer determination and strength of her need to find her friend, Her sonic flag bursts forth an amazing display of aurora lights sparkling to her friend, the fuzzy dragon seeming to realize that he's being searched by her. The story ends with the two of them uniting together, with Kraze apologizing for running off, seeming upset about something we the audience can only theorize of, but his friend is simply happy to be with him again. So many things to tap on with this video, but I'll try to keep the pointers brief. First off, the animation. Even though it's not a colorized full animation, it still gives off its own depth and personality that I love, as it displays emotions, physical struggle, and movement throughout each scene as the characters tell the tale of their finding their friendship. The music takes the show, however, with its somber start, then motivational horns of trumpets, with a sympathetic mellow lullaby at the end, giving us the viewer a sense of sadness, unknown, struggle, courage, and finally relief in one fluid motion. Then finally to the story itself. It goes without saying that I've had fears of losing my friends, and the unknown of where they might have gone, and why they felt like they needed to leave. It's a terrifying concept to convey to me on a personal level. The experience has both haunted me but molded me into what I am today, and has taught me a valuable lesson in cherishing the friendships I have and not to take them for granted. But this video also reminds me that if you believe in yourself and have the courage and confidence to do so, you can achieve anything you set your mind to if it's truly what you want. In this case, finding a friend and being there for them in their time of need. Honestly, I feel this video needs to get more views than it has simply for the style and story alone, but because of the fact it was one of the first ones I've seen in our community, it truly holds a special place in my heart. I thank the creator of the video for making it and wish them luck in all their future goals. And this concludes my top 5 picks, everyone. Did you like what I picked out? Do you have other animations that you could recommend? Either way, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe as well, it really helps my channel out. And also be sure to check out my Patreon page or my Lightning Bliss site if you wish to support me there through donations or purchasing merchandise from me. Take care, and keep an eye out for those rainbows. They will make you smile.
Blissy fans, glad you enjoyed the show. Hey, did you know you could have mini-me as a pet? At Mama's website, you can buy a plushie version of me, available right now. Go check it out. I only eat cookies and will demand a spot on the bed, but I am definitely worth it. You can also find other plushies such as Lightning Bliss, Thunderblight, and other fun items. So be sure to stop by before all my mini-me's are adopted out.
And welcome back to my channel. That sounded terrible. So I'm gonna get into a habit of being into videos that I am head over heels for, simply because I love the original style of the G4 My Little Pony universe. That made no sense. But for taking inspiration from the amount of detail that went into the animation itself. Ba-la-la-la-la-la-la. Don't you guys just hate it when you're trying to record lines and you can feel burps bubbling up and it's like, why keep it in? I'm in the middle of recording.